No, keep talking.
No,
It's on now?
it's on.
We start again. We've lost half a minute. Universal health care is absolutely vital to Australia. It is one of the main concerns for the communities in McEwen. By introducing the GP tax, Tony Abbott is going to be charging our electorate almost $8 million a year just for being sick and injured. In regional areas such as Kilmore and Broadford and Seymour, where we have higher elderly populations, it is especially going to hurt. Our pensioners and people on fixed incomes are already struggling to make ends meet on their modest incomes, and now they will— oh, the Bass Yabby, he's just going, doesn't he? Will struggle to afford to go to the doctor. Let's say they can scramble together $7 to go to the doctor. Then they need to get a blood test done. That's another $7. Then they may follow-up appointment to check their health progress. That's another $7. And for those opposite, that's $21 for one ailment. $21. Well, what about the young families we have in areas like Lorimer, Mernda, Craigieburn and Sunbury? A family with a couple of sick kids is going to be pinged $14 if they take 2 kids to the doctors. This heartless GP tax is hurting the most vulnerable Australians, those that least can afford it. And to add insult to injury, the millionaire Joe Hockey fires off comments suggesting it's not a big deal. It's no big deal if you compare it to a pack of smokes. And I'll quote, "One pack of cigarettes costs $22. That gives you 3 visits to the doctors. You can spend $3 on a middy of beer, so that's 2 middies of beer to go to the doctors." Well, this is why our budget is in such a mess. If the Treasurer is not competent enough to know 3 + 3 = 6, not 7, no wonder this country's in a state and got a budget that's not worth even using as a boat anchor. How arrogant and out of touch is the Treasurer of this country to honestly believe that those who are struggling to keep their head above water can compare their health needs to a middy? This shows just how out of touch the Abbott government really is. Speaker, by now we know that Abbott's famous quote not before the election, but it bears repeating: no cuts to education, no cuts to health, no changes to pensions, no changes to the GST. So far, 4 out of 5 broken. He's cut billions of dollars from public hospitals, dental services, preventative health initiatives, bulk billing services, planning and training programs and, of course, the Medicare safety net. If he thinks these are not funding cuts, I would hate to see the Prime Minister deliver a budget with funding cuts. In February this year, the Prime Minister, in a doorstop with Bill Glasson, was asked, "Can you guarantee there won't be a Medicare co-payment?" Tony Abbott replied, "Nothing is being considered, nothing has been proposed, nothing has planned." The parliamentary Pinocchio also stated, "Don't forget, we are going to be a no surprises and no excuses government." And there you have it, Deputy Speaker. He reckons this is a no surprises, no excuses government. Well, I can tell you there are millions of sick and vulnerable struggling people across Australia who have been absolutely shocked by the cruel budget of broken promises, especially the people in McEwen. Even the Premier of Victoria, Dr Dennis Napthine, a fellow Liberal Party member, has outed more of Tony Abbott's healthcare cuts and lies. Mr Napthine states, "The Prime Minister is telling Australians that the cuts will only take place post-2017. But our figures clearly show, as of the 1st of July this year, there will be a significant reduction in funding and health concessions in Victoria." In his 2009 book Battle Lines, on page 133, Tony Abbott writes, "Commonwealth spending on health and education now approaches $90 billion a year. Still, any withdrawal of Commonwealth involvement or spending in these areas would rightly be seen as a cop-out." So what does the PM do? His budget has an $80 billion cut to health and education. Or, for the intellectually bereft up the back there, savings are the term they use in the budget. We're not spending it, we're saving it. That is a cut by any stretch of the imagination. I would like to reiterate that these saving cuts go to healthcare, and the cruel taxes on GPs and medications are going to drastically hurt the livelihoods of people of McEwen. Needless to say, we are going to fight these. In this House in September 2010, it was said this government is built on a lie. It's a thoroughly dishonourable and deceitful government deserves to be exposed as such.
Order.
Well, Mr Abbott, when it comes to your
order.
perfidious government,
Order.
I couldn't have said it better myself. That was a quote of the Prime Minister, the now Prime Minister. So while those opposites sit there whinging,
Order.
complain,
Order. The honourable member.